Well, good morning, everybody. Jeff Slakey and Spencer Hughes here on the Daybreak show. We got the word last week that Dr. Apostle was in the middle of a whole bunch of meetings and conferences, so we had to push the conversation to today here on this Monday morning. Good morning, Alex. How you doing?
Good morning, Jeff and Spencer, and thank you very much for your flexibility and understanding the world that I'm in. Thank you
Well,
very
and
much.
of course, of course. Tell me a little bit how things have been going with the Shelton School District, how you've been able to connect with the teachers and the staff, and how they then have been able to get in touch with their students. I know a lot of folks have been trying really hard to do their best at teaching their kids, but there's some great resources on the website, sheltonschools.org, and these are continual conversations that you're having with staff.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. In fact, we have a meeting this morning at 9 o'clock with all of our administrators, not just our principals, just to check in to make sure we continue to be focused on connecting with students and families through remote learning strategies and developing instructional packets. And I can tell you right now that our teachers and our principals they're dedicated to making sure that that is our number one priority, and refining that each and every day to make sure that we're truly reaching out in a very accountable manner to our students and families. And again, our families, with everything else that they have going on right now, like the rest of us, we're taking that into account, and we're not going to try to overload the students or the families as we go forward. And our intent, quite frankly, is when school opens again, we know it's not going to be the same, but we want to be able to integrate remote learning with the traditional model. And I think that's going to enhance the teaching learning relationship all the way through the system. So, these are challenging times, they're difficult times, they're complex, but at the same time, we have some opportunities to enhance what we do every day in terms of teaching and learning.
I know you've been really pushing the 21st century learning for a long time now in the Shelton School District, and it's over the course of the country, it's kind of been a slow adoption to this. Necessity is the mother of invention, and we've been forced to invent some new things as the new normal has come by. As I think about this more and more, unfortunate, of course, for the class of 2020 as we move into the last 2 months or so of what would have been the school year. But at least you were given the opportunity, and the students were given the opportunity for a good couple months from September up till now, a good couple months of learning in the classrooms, as opposed to this happening maybe at the start of the year, where
Right.
really people would be having to make some real big decisions.
Yeah, you're spot on, Jeff. There's no question, and overall, there's no substitute for teachers and students working together in person. I mean, there's nothing like it. We can do a number of things through remote learning, but it's remote learning. But you don't have that connection that we all appreciate in a classroom situation. So yeah, we're pushing as hard as we can within our resources. One of the things that we're doing, and I'd like to thank the PUD. There are places within our school district where students don't have access to Wi-Fi and the internet, and they're working hard to make a difference in that regard so that all students have the same abilities to get an education. And we're working very hard on that all the way through the system. So being equitable for all of our students, that's a major, major emphasis. And I know that our teachers and principals are working hard to make that a reality through packets of instruction and so on. But we're going to be talking about all those things this morning at 9 o'clock with all our administrators and our union representatives to make sure that we're all on the same page. And we know this is not going to be perfect, that each day we take each day and we try to refine our efforts as we go forward. and hopefully when school begins again in somewhat a normal way, we'll be ready to even do better than we've ever done before.
Well, in the fall of 2020, when things slowly start to get back to normal, there will be a new high school housed in the downstairs of the Choice campus. Upstairs
Right.
will house the alternative learning programs that we've talked about over the years. But the new high school naming survey is available on the website for folks to look at. This is kind of a cool one. There's been 5 choices. A brief survey gives
Right.
you a ranking here. Tell me about this.
Well, it's pretty exciting, and Stacy Anderson and Amber, our assistant principal, they've ran a survey with staff and students and the community before, but Stacy wanted to run another survey just to make sure what people would like to see as far as a name for this new school. And of course, those names and alternatives will be submitted to the board for consideration on the 28th of April. That's our second board meeting of the month in April. And so I give credit to Stacy and the administrative team at Choice and the staff for reaching out again to find out for sure what people would like to name this new school after. So that's pretty exciting stuff. And especially with the new approach that we're going to take in terms of the instructional program at this new school.
SheltonSchools.org has got the links to complimentary educational resources, distance learning tips, learning standards, and more. You can find out all that's going on with the Shelton School District now, and more conversations continued on. How are your school board meetings live streamed via YouTube? How's that going?
Yeah, well, we had our first one on the 14th, which went extremely well. Everything technologically worked well. This next board meeting, we're going to have, there was a way that the community could access the board meeting through a mailbox at the beginning of the meeting and towards the end of the meeting. Now we're going to incorporate the ability for the community to call in by telephone at the beginning and at the closure of the school board meeting, and we're working quickly to make that happen for the 28th. So we want our community to be involved in our board meetings, and as far as the first one, it went extremely well, and we're looking forward to continuing at that level.
Well, Dr. Postle, it's always nice catching up with you, regardless of what day it is. We'll see you
Yeah.
again this Friday. We'll make plans to talk with you here coming up. Dr. Alex Apostle from the Shelton School District, have a good day and have a good week.
Thank you, Jeff, very much. Take care.
All right.